Hey, this is BizDev Don with Forget How Coaching. I hope this video finds you and yours well and healthy during this crazy time. And if not, let's talk about ways to get better and do better. And this is part 2 of our sales and prospecting and all things business development series. Here we talk about the best habits and best practices to help you succeed and create abundance for yourself and your family. In part 1, we talked about the numbers and how to understand and avoid the zero factor when you're grinding it out on the phone, whether that's setting sales appointments for yourself or someone else, or maybe you're directly selling a product through cold calling. In any event, the main principles are always the same. Now, in this video, we'll be taking on the next part, which is what I call the freeze factor, otherwise known as call reluctance. Have you ever heard that term? It's a mental and emotional state that causes salespeople, even seasoned veterans, to avoid making calls. Now, sometimes people have a day or a string of days or a long history of days without enough attempts. And maybe you've experienced this. You make a couple of dials and you check your Facebook, and then you buckle down and dial strong for 15 or 30 minutes. And then you remember there's an email you need to send, and then you're already off the phone, so you may as well go hit the restroom, get a drink of water, and then you come back and stare at your leads for a minute, trying to get going again. And then you start thinking about that gatekeeper that was rude, and there's that very lead right at the top of your list, and you think about how much you don't want to talk to her again, so maybe you can call someone else and come back to that one later. And now the hour is over, and you've made 6 or 10 calls and accomplished nothing. And unfortunately, that hour tends to build into a similar next hour, and then another and another, and then it's time to take lunch. Sound familiar? Called reluctance. It's a killer. But it has causes and it has solutions. A well-known Baylor University study identified 9 causes of called reluctance. But ultimately, those 9 causes boil down to one thing, really: fear. It's fear of rejection, fear of failure, fear of upsetting or interrupting someone. Fear. I am very, very familiar with that. I have suffered from fear-based call reluctance many times over the years. Hey, look, it still happens sometimes. There are 3 things that you can do to push forward. Number 1, know that you know what you're talking about. Whatever you're selling, you know it as well or better than your prospect. I mean, might they ask you a question you don't know the answer to? Well, of course. And if that happens, say, that's a really great question. I don't 100% know the answer, but let me make sure to find the answer and get back to you on that. Okay, I mean, that's a little embarrassing, right? But who cares? You can't anticipate every question you might ever get. That just gives you the opportunity to learn more, so that question doesn't stump you again. There's no substitute for experience, and experience is just the time spent actually doing something imperfectly while learning how to do it better. Secondly, be aware of the things you're saying to yourself. If your inner dialogue is negative, they won't want it, he won't want to talk to me, I'm not going to get past that gatekeeper, they all already have a vendor they like, whatever. Convincing yourself that you're going to lose. Find ways to replace that negative talk. Say things to yourself, and say them to others too, but say things to yourself like, you know what, we have a great product that has value to the people I'm calling. Or, not everyone will be interested, but some will, and those are the calls that I'll remember. Someone today is going to be grateful that I reached out to them with a solution. Or it can be something as simple as, I can do this, I got this. I believe our internal dialogue is very important. Our own brains are the source of our limiting thoughts and beliefs. And you can't eliminate those thoughts and beliefs, but you can replace them. Don't roll your eyes at me when I suggest looking in the mirror and reciting some positive affirmations. If you do that consistently every day, maybe several times a day, it will make a difference. And then lastly, and a very important way to kill call reluctance, is put down your cell phone. Turn it off. Put it in a drawer. Whatever. Stay off of Facebook and Twitter and TikTok when you're working. Those things eat time and do nothing but reinforce your call reluctance, and maybe even worse, when you know you've spent a day wasting time on social media, your internal dialogue is going to suffer as well. I mean, the way to self-esteem is to do esteemable things. Now that takes us finally to the focus factor. Making dial after dial can be tedious, sometimes even boring. But simply making dial after dial like a robot isn't going to bring you success either. So minimize distractions. Like, again, putting your phone away is definitely one important element in defeating call reluctance, but it's not the only one. Look, when you're intently focused on what you're doing, focused on your objective for the day, focused on the value you're going to bring to your prospects, this is a mental decision and commitment you must make within yourself. And there are also some things that you can do throughout the day that will help. Something that I do, for example, is I pull up the prospect's website or LinkedIn page as I'm dialing their number. This keeps my concentration where it should be, on the prospect, on the message. I gain insight into what their role is and maybe some of what their challenges might be that I can help them solve. Sometimes that gives me information about maybe a better person to contact. But most importantly, it keeps me engaged. It keeps me mentally ready when they do answer the phone. Another thing that helps is setting very short-term goals. Now, you should have a goal for your total dials, sure, and for the number of appointments or sales you're going to make for the week and the month, but also have a goal for just the number of dials you're going to make in this hour. Let's say it's 9 a.m. and you made 19 dials in the 8 o'clock hour, in the previous hour. Make it a game to hit 25 in this 9 o'clock hour, and don't stop until you hit it. And hey, once you have, get up, take a quick potty break, or get another cup of coffee. Then when you get back to your list, it's early in the day, you've already got 44 dials under your belt. That will build your confidence and momentum for the next hour and the next. As Carlos Castaneda said, a warrior lives by acting, not by thinking about acting. And let's be honest, prospecting requires a little bit of a warrior mentality. So know your numbers and have enough self-awareness to identify what may be causing you to not hit your numbers. Stay focused and do away with needless distractions and lower priority tasks that can wait. Look, when it's time to work, let's work. When it's time to play, let's play. Focus. Work hard. Win. You can do it. I know you can. Hey, thanks for watching this video. And if it brought value to your life and career, hey, leave me a comment. And please hit like and subscribe. You know the drill. So until next time, this is BizDev Don saying goodbye and make it a great day.